Every day, the world shouts louder. More noise, more distraction, more urgency designed to keep you chasing, comparing, and collapsing. Why? Because chaos sells. Your anxiety funds their systems. Your outrage drives their algorithms. Your fear keeps their machine alive. The more panicked you are, the more predictable you become. And the more predictable you are, the easier you are to control. That's the game. A system built not to free you, but to flood you. With pressure, deadlines, trends, and expectations you never even agreed to. Peace is power. Peace is clarity. Peace is rebellion in a world that wants you exhausted. You don't need to show up to every argument. You don't need to react to every fire. You don't need to attend every battle that was never yours to fight. Sometimes the strongest move is stillness. Sometimes the loudest message is silence. Sometimes the most radical act is to rest when the world says run. But let's not sugarcoat it. Peace isn't easy. Because the moment you stop running with the crowd, they'll question you. You don't care enough. You're not doing enough. You're going to miss out. But that's just noise in disguise. That's just chaos with a new mask. Because choosing peace, that takes courage. It's easy to yell with the crowd. It's harder to stand quietly with your soul. It's easy to scroll and compare. It's harder to be still and grateful. It's easy to react, but it takes mastery to respond with intention. You see, in a world where chaos is the currency, peace becomes your greatest wealth, and it's rare. Not because it doesn't exist, but because we were never taught how to protect it. We were raised on hustle, conditioned by urgency, groomed by pressure, taught that being still was being lazy, that resting was weak, that peace was soft. But let me break that lie right now. Peace is not passive. Peace is power under control. It's the trained ability to walk through fire without flinching, to watch the storm and still choose calm, to carry clarity when confusion is all around you. And you know what else? You don't have to answer everything. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to carry what was never yours to hold. Because what the world didn't give you, it can't take away. And that includes your peace. So how do you protect it? How do you stay grounded when everything around you is shaking? How do you remain still when the world profits from your panic? That's what we're diving into today. Because real peace is not accidental. It's built. It's not weakness. It's warfare. It's not withdrawal. It's wisdom. If you want to rise in a world designed to distract you, you have to become unshakable from within. You have to build a life where stillness isn't an escape. It's your strategy. A mind that doesn't collapse under pressure. A soul that stays quiet while the world screams. A spirit that whispers, "I'm not playing your game anymore." This isn't about escaping reality. It's about confronting it with presence. Because peace isn't the absence of chaos. It's the refusal to be owned by it. And when you master peace, you become dangerous to every system that tried to keep you small. Chaos is manufactured. Peace must be built. Chaos is not accidental, it's engineered. Every day you're being pulled. Pulled by headlines designed to stir panic, pulled by conversations built on drama, pulled by demands that disguise themselves as urgent, but only exist to keep you overwhelmed and overcommitted. You think you're behind. You think you're missing something, but you're not behind. You're being baited. Baited into cycles of overthinking, overworking, and overreacting. Why? Because a restless mind can't reflect. A distracted soul can't hear truth. And if they can keep you dizzy with noise, they can keep you from peace. That's the trap. If chaos is manufactured, then what would happen if you stopped buying it? What would happen if you unsubscribed from panic? If you didn't treat every crisis like it was your personal emergency? If you stopped confusing urgency with importance? You'd feel something unfamiliar, stillness. And that stillness, that's where peace begins. Peace doesn't show up on its own. You have to build it, brick by brick, choice by choice. You can't just want peace. You have to want it more than you want to be right, more than you want to be liked, more than you want to be seen. Because every day you'll be invited into noise, invited to respond, to react, to defend. But real power is in the pause, that split second when you can either jump into the chaos or step back into your clarity. That's where the training happens, because peace is a muscle. You train it every time you decide not to reply to nonsense. You train it when you wake up and don't check your stress first. You train it when you remind yourself that your value doesn't live in productivity, popularity, or panic. Your peace is your responsibility. No one else will guard it for you. No one else will value it like you must. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to validate every opinion. You don't have to fix what was never yours to carry. Your peace isn't selfish, it's strategic. Because a peaceful mind is dangerous to a world that can only control you through fear. So the first step? Acknowledge the chaos is not random, it's manufactured. And your choice to live peacefully is not weakness, it's wisdom. Internal boundaries are the real armor. You can't have external peace without internal boundaries. It's not just about saying no to others. It's about saying no to the old version of you that always said yes to chaos. You know what I'm talking about. That part of you that wants to be liked, wants to be everything to everyone, wants to prove you're enough by constantly doing more. But peace doesn't live in people-pleasing. Peace lives in alignment. And alignment means choosing what honors your soul. Even when it offends someone else's expectation, where is your energy leaking? Because peace isn't just something you lose, it's something you trade. You trade it when you overcommit, when you say yes out of guilt, when you check in with the world before you check in with yourself. And every time you do that, you send a message to your mind. Their chaos matters more than my calm. You can't pour peace into your life while drinking from everyone else's storm, so you need boundaries, but not just the kind you post about on pretty graphics. Real boundaries, quiet boundaries, internal boundaries. The kind where you pause before reacting. You ask yourself, is this mine to fix? You take a breath instead of taking the bait. Internal boundaries say, I don't engage with energy that drains me. I don't respond to voices that don't respect my peace. I don't sacrifice my calm to win temporary battles. Because here's what people don't tell you. You can be kind and still unavailable. You can be loving and still unavailable. You can be helpful and still unavailable. Not everything requires your reply. Not every fire is yours to put out. And not every invitation to chaos deserves your attendance. When your soul is calm, the world might say you're distant. Let them. When your spirit is quiet, some will say you're cold. Let them. They're confusing your peace for passivity. But deep down, you know better. You're not escaping the world. You're just no longer enslaved by it. That's internal strength. That's unshakable peace. And if you want to last in this noisy, chaotic world, you better start protecting your peace like it's gold, because it is. Shift your mindset from control to trust. If you really want peace, you have to give up one thing, the illusion of control. Because most of your stress, most of your anxiety, most of your inner chaos, it doesn't come from what's happening around you. It comes from trying to control it, trying to fix everyone, trying to predict everything, trying to outrun every unknown. Control is a cage, and peace can't live where fear is the foundation. You're not exhausted because life is hard. You're exhausted because you're carrying things that were never yours to manage. You're trying to solve storms that aren't yours. You're scripting conversations in your head that never happened. You're rehearsing rejection before anyone even says no. That's not preparation. That's punishment. And it's time to drop the weight. The shift happens when you stop asking, How do I control this? And you start asking, how do I stay grounded regardless of what happens? That's the difference between fear and faith, between anxiety and peace, between burning out and rising up. You can't control outcomes, but you can control your presence. You can't stop every storm, but you can train yourself to stand in the middle of it without falling apart. And that starts with trust. Not just trust in people, not just trust in timing, but trust in something deeper than logic. Trust in your process. Trust in your growth. Trust in the fact that you were never designed to carry the whole world on your back. You don't need all the answers to have peace. You just need a grounded mind and a surrendered spirit. You don't need to know exactly where it's going. You just need to know who you are while you walk through it. That's what peace really is. It's not always calm on the outside. Sometimes the storm still rages, but inside of you, there's a quiet anchor, a steady voice that says, I trust myself to get through this. I don't have to panic. I don't have to prove. I don't have to predict. I just have to breathe. Peace comes when you stop trying to fix the wind and start planting your feet. So ask yourself, are you holding on too tight to things you should have let go of long ago? Are you gripping a future that needs space to unfold? Peace isn't about getting everything right. It's about getting your mind right even when nothing around you makes sense. And the moment you let go of control, you make room for clarity, for guidance, for strength that doesn't need chaos as a crutch. Guard your atmosphere. Peace thrives in protected space. Peace is not passive. It doesn't arrive by luck. It's a lifestyle that requires defense. And that defense starts with what you allow in your atmosphere. Because peace doesn't just come from within, it's shaped by what surrounds you. Ask yourself, what voices are constantly in your ear? What energy fills your space? What kind of thoughts are being seeded into your mind every day? Because peace can't grow in polluted soil. If your space is filled with criticism, chaos, comparison, don't be surprised when your mind mirrors the same. See, most people don't lose their peace from one major event. They lose it drip by drip, day by day, by allowing noise to set up camp in places where silence should live. You want peace? Then become a gatekeeper of your life. Be selective with who gets access to your time. Be intentional about what voices you let influence your thoughts. Be unapologetic about creating sacred space, even if others don't understand it. This is not selfish. This is survival. You were not created to absorb everything. You were not built to carry everyone. Your space is sacred, so clean it, clear it, protect it, because your environment is either feeding your calm or fueling your chaos. And here's the part most overlook. Peace is physical, too. It's in the way your room feels, the way your morning starts, the rituals that set your tone, the rhythms you live by. If your environment is always chaotic, your nervous system will never learn what rest feels like. So simplify. Structure. Let stillness become part of your routine, not a rare occasion. Don't just hope for peace, design for it. Wake up and build a rhythm that honors your well-being. Breathe before you react. Pause before you agree. Center yourself before the world tries to shake you. You'll be amazed how different life feels when you start living like your peace is your greatest wealth, because it is. And when the world profits from your stress, peace becomes your most rebellious, most powerful, most essential choice. So, in a world that profits from your chaos, your peace isn't just a luxury, it's a weapon, a declaration, a boundary, a revolution. Because when the world can't shake your spirit, it loses its power to control your path. So today, stop treating peace like a side effect and start treating it like a standard. Make it non-negotiable. Make it part of who you are, not just what you feel. Let your peace confuse the enemy. Let your calm silence the noise. Let your stillness become the loudest thing in the room. And remember, you don't owe everyone a response. You don't owe every situation your energy. You don't have to explain your quiet. You just have to live it. Because real power isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a soul that says, I'm not running anymore. I'm rooted now. So choose stillness, choose simplicity, choose boundaries, choose you, and watch how the world loses its grip. When you finally stop handing it your peace,